Hello, welcome to another episode of Low Budget Shooting. Today I'm going to shoot one of the guns that was very popular during the Roaring Twenties for the mobsters. Uh, it's not the gun that everybody thinks, surprisingly enough. But I have three firearms from that time period, and I'm going to show them to you in just a second. And then we're going to shoot what was the one that was pretty much used the most. Enjoy. So this particular firearm right here is the pre-model 10. This is what the police carried around on the streets, and they had other guns too, and I'm about to show you one of those. And then everybody thinks that this particular one right here was the really popular one for the mobsters, but the fact of the matter is these things back in their day, they were like, untouchable price wise. But what they really preferred was this one right here, the Remington Model 11. This is a John Browning design, and he actually designed this back in 1898. He tried to sell it to Winchester. Winchester wasn't interested in the pricing that he was offering on it, and so then he went to Remington. He was trying to cut a deal with them too, and then the president passed away at Remington somewhere around that time period. But eventually Remington picked it up in 1905, and they made it until 1947. This particular version right here that I have is from 1929. So this was right at the end of the Roaring Twenties. But people like John Dillinger, they really enjoyed this firearm because it was a recoil design, which means that this barrel right here actually slides back into the chamber. The bolt has a really interesting locking mechanism where it locks into the barrel, and when you shoot it, this whole thing actually slides back the length of the shell to ride a new one. You can tune it too, and there's plenty of videos in here. There's these washers in here that are actually a brake mechanism, so if you got heavy loads, you can tune it to the round that you're shooting. So I restored the stock on this one. When I got it, it was all rusted. As a matter of fact, it pretty much looked like this. There was no bluing. I like to keep some original parts so that I can show people what it looked like in here, but everything else I redid, the whole gun, the stock and everything, because I like them kind of new. So today we're going to shoot this firearm and show you why they wanted it. Oh, one interesting thing about this gun. So because it was a recoil operated gun, it was actually kind of cool because you could cut the barrel on it and it didn't affect the way that the gun reloaded. So John Dillinger was a person who really liked this gun. Clyde, he from Bonnie and Clyde, he really liked this shotgun. When they went and got the Dillinger gang, they found some of these were cut off because, it's kind of nice for concealment. And believe it or not, because of this, in 1934, this is one of the guns that ended up making the National Firearms Act from people modifying. Obviously, there are other ones, but this was the most popular. Between 1907 and 1947, 1905 and 1947, 850,000 of these were made. Now, when Winchester didn't pick up the deal on it, John Browning actually did go to Belgium, and FN started making some of these things there too. And this gun was made all the way up until I think it was in 1998 or something like that, through FN. You can pick these up. I got this one for like $200 because it was in pretty rough shape. But that's pretty much the price range. The FNs sell for a little more, even though the A5 design is exactly the same. So anyways, we're going to go shoot it. Okay. I always say okay whenever I'm about to start. I think you all know that. Anyways, this particular firearm, the Remington 11, has a kind of unusual feature. When you go to load it, the loading ramp won't close in. You have to push a button on the side. And then when you push the button on the side, then it will allow it to go down, and then you can load. And this gun took 5 shells, and this is not the shloop that Miss Mikulik does when she's loading her gun. Okay, so we got that. Okay. Now it doesn't load. have a broken situation. Okay. There we go. That was weird. I guess the trigger and the safety had to be off. Let's see if this baby works. I guess not, and boy did I flinch for that one. Woo! Okay, that was kind of interesting. Its shell kind of stuck in there like that. Oh, it didn't eject. Now, there's an article about this on the internet when they don't eject, that the tension could be too much on the spring. That one ejected. God, that one didn't eject. And this gun kicks like hell. Whoa. That, I'll tell you what, I don't know how the old school mobsters shot that thing. I'm hoping to slow this down to show how this goes, but what I'm going to try to do, there is a way to stiffen up the recoil on this thing, and I'm going to make an adjustment to it. I'm not going to show it in this video because there's a bunch of people who already do this. So just look up the Remington 1100 because you can tune it for the shots. That was a nice thing, a Remington 11. You know what? I want to do one other thing. I want to see if I can get this on slow-mo. First I'm going to shoot, because I got these bottles up here, and put safety on. We'll go again on these. Okay. Yep. And then we're going to go for the next one. Oh man. Okay, so that is the problem. It might be too tight. Okay. Now I got this speaker that I was going to fix, and then I was going to take it apart and use the electronics, and now I'm going to shoot it. Okay, I won't be fixing that. Yeah, we got one more bottle around the corner and we're done. Ooh, baby. Okay, so it still kicks like hell, but the recoil was less by breaking that. So what I was going to say, that barrel's kind of warm, what you can see on here, I don't know if you can, is the barrel recoils on a spring. And hopefully I'll get that in slow motion. So there you go. There's the Remington 11. This was the mobster's choice of firearms over the Thompson submachine gun, believe it or not, because of cost and because of it's hard to beat with a shotgun. I'm barely aiming and shooting at those targets and knocking them all out. So there you go, Remington 11, another episode of Low Budget Shooting. I appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe below, and be safe when you're shooting. I think it's a safe bet that we won't be using this speaker anymore. Number 7.5 birdshot. Yeah, it probably made the subwoofer stop working.